Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimler, and we are halfway through 2026. Hard to believe this year is absolutely flying by. I really don't know where it's gone. I remember thinking in January, okay, are we ever going to make it through January? We made it through January. We made it through January, February, March, April, May, and June. So here we are. We are headed into July. July has a lot going on. This is going to be a longer video, so just I'm giving that warning. I'm going to try not to talk too fast, but I'm also not going to talk too slow because it is a longer video. Because of everything going on in July, there's a once in a lifetime kind of positioning of planets. There's a big conjunction on July 4th, which is for the USA, their 250th birthday. And the conjunction is, yeah, it has the potential to pack a punch. Um, I think July is a very transformational month. I think it's a turning point in terms of like things shifting and adjusting and change. So we are just going to go ahead. We're going to jump right in, and I'm going to try to cover everything. If I don't, it's definitely written in my newsletter. So if you get my newsletter, read it. If you don't, sign up below. It's completely free right now, even though people keep telling me I should start charging for it. For right now, I am just offering it out for people to get the information. Also, like and follow these videos, share them, whatever. It helps. And if you haven't, now is always a great time for a yearly update if you haven't done one yet, or if you've never done a personal, unique natal reading consultation for you. I also have linked that below to schedule. So, July, we ended June 29th. Mercury went retrograde, everybody's favorite planet. They love to hate, they love to make fun of. Anybody that even doesn't follow astrology loves to hate on Mercury. So Mercury is retrograde, which means watch your communications. There may be delays, setbacks, all of that. The good news is towards the end of July, Mercury will go direct, which we will talk about. But I just want to give you a reminder, Mercury is retrograde right now. We are starting July with a super powerful yoga that's happening July 1st to 3rd. It's very auspicious. It's when the benefic planets Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus are in the 6th, 7th, and 8th house from the moon. So it's a positive energy. Enjoy the positive energy. We did see this June 1st through 3rd when the moon was also in a good placement with them. But it can be a financially prosperous time, and you just may find you have easier victories over your obstacles that come your way and anything that kind of happens during this transit. Now, that being said, July 4th, kind of already alluded to this. July 4th, Mars and Uranus are going to be conjunct at 9 degrees Taurus. Now, Mars entered Taurus the end of June. So we are already starting to see this conjunction, but the day they are exactly conjunct, same degrees of the sign, is July 4th. So it's a powerful conjunction. It's one where we need to expect the unexpected things. There could be things exploding more than just fireworks. There could be fire starting because Taurus is an earth sign. So we've already seen fires in Colorado, Utah, just outside of Sedona, between Sedona and Flagstaff, which is super dear to my heart because I went to school in Flagstaff. So I love that area. But just know there is potential for those to get worse. The East Coast is about to go into an insane heat wave in the DC area, over 100 degrees potentially, with feels like even higher. The earthquakes in Venezuela are part of this signature. And I've seen other earthquakes around the globe, whether it be, I've seen some in the Philippines. I think there was one in like Alaska. So there's a lot going on. This conjunction is huge. It's a big one. So just know there's a lot going on. There can be a lot of things going on. Now, Mars is the fire element, so people can also get more feisty. They can also be more explosive in their words, especially with Mercury retrograde when they're not necessarily going to think through their words. So really take the time, think through what you're saying. We may see people kind of start to like riot or getting angry more quickly. Just try to count to 10 before losing your cool on someone. Try to step back, try to sleep on it. This is not a time to act impulsively, even though you may want to act impulsively. Don't do it. Um, Now, on the bright side, this is a fast-moving energy. It's can be a very creative period of time, and it can also be a time for personal growth and good problem-solving abilities. But that being said, Mars is going to, thankfully, it is not going retrograde in Taurus this year. So Mars is going to move relatively quickly through Taurus. It will leave Taurus on August 2nd, but between now and then, I would say we will see heat waves, fires. There is a slight offset later in the month for the heat waves, but earthquakes, just be prepared, and keep an eye on that. Also on July 4th, I know there's a lot happening. Venus is going to transit into Leo. So this is a time where there can be a lot of creativity and passion, but there can also be a bit of drama as well because Venus in Leo can tend to sensationalize things. Leo's ruled by the sun, and Venus and the sun are not considered friendly planets to each other. But Venus and Leo can give a love of entertaining and socializing, so it can be a really great time to get out, see people, be around people, socialize with caution, because Mars can also indicate accidents, unexpected accidents. That's the other thing with the Mars Uranus. We may see some air accidents, which I saw a helicopter crashed yesterday, killing everyone on board, unfortunately. So we may see more incidents like that. Um, Back to Venus in Leo. You can be a little more self-indulgent, however, with Venus in Leo. So just be very, very cognizant. Watch what you eat. Don't overindulge. Don't become self-centered because there can be more self-centered behavior with this transit as well. Now, anytime a planet transits from Cancer into Leo, it's transiting from a water sign to a fire sign. This is a point called the Gandanta. If you've watched my videos before or read my newsletter, you've heard of it. July 3rd to 5th, Venus will be Gandanta. What this says is there is potential for storms then, so floods, rainstorms. This is also a time where there can be more emotional turmoil or exhaustion. So just give yourself some grace. If you're tired, take the time down, get some sleep, rest, and recuperate. July 10th, Venus will be exactly conjunct the planet, or the node of the moon, K2, not a planet. This can indicate relationship issues and a feeling of disappointment or dissatisfaction around relationships. It can also indicate spiritual growth through relationships. So just keep that in mind. Try not to blow anything up during that time. And if relationships get funky, just go with the flow, especially if you are single and dating. July 7th, another date that has a lot going on. So July 7th, Mercury retrograde is going to transit back into Gemini. So it turned retrograde in Cancer, it's moving back into Gemini, where it will be until August 5th. Jupiter, too many planets. Mercury was in Gemini from May 29th to June 22nd before it went retrograde. So kind of think back to then and you'll get a sense of what to expect. There may be some that want to debate or end up debating over topics they're passionate about during this time, especially with that Mars Uranus. You got a lot going on. Um, Mercury is also going to be receiving a square from Saturn, and so it's going to be really important when interacting with others, especially because it's still retrograde for part of this time, that you check that everyone is on the same page and that what you've said is clear to all involved. Don't hesitate to ask clarifying questions if something seems off. It never hurts to ask questions. The other person may not love it, but at least then you're on the same page. Also on July 7th, Neptune is going to station retrograde at 10 degrees of Pisces. Now, this is huge because when Neptune stations retrograde, it sits for quite a while before it starts moving backwards because it's a big outer planet. So remember that 10 degree of Pisces mark. I'm just telling you it's going to show up again. Well, remember 10 degrees, I should say, but 10 degrees of Pisces, Neptune stations retrograde. It's a time to look within for spirituality. It can be a great time to meditate, really dig deep, help yourself move forward through personal growth, work through anything. I know I personally have been doing a lot of inner work, a lot's coming up. So it can be uncomfortable, but remember the motto, get comfortable being uncomfortable. So do that. Take this time. Neptune will be retrograde until December 14th. Um, with Neptune retrograde, it's going to be very important to stay grounded. Just keep yourself rooted, Spend time outdoors, even if it's hot if you're in the northern hemisphere, even if it's cold if you're in the southern hemisphere. Get out, put your feet in some grass, ground yourself. It's really a good time to improve your mental and physical health, so focus on that. And yes, because Neptune and Pisces can be a little idealistic. So keep grounded. If you have any planets around 10 degrees Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, or Sagittarius, this station of Neptune is going to impact you. So just be mindful. If, for example, because Neptune can be delusional, if you have a planet at 10 degrees Virgo, that means that Neptune is opposite it in the seventh house. Well, not the seventh house. If you're Virgo, Sun is the seventh house, but Neptune opposite Virgo, it's a seven relationship. Um, just know there could be some delusion around whatever that planet represents. If it's communication, it might be around communication. If it's Venus, it might be around relationships. If it's Jupiter, it might be around your children or husband. Um, so just keep that in mind going forward. If you are not dating and you're looking at dating, just don't commit to anything during this time if you have that 10-degree mark in any of the four Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, or Sagittarius. Now, July 14th, we are going to have a new moon at 27 degrees of Gemini in the lunar mansion of Purna. This new moon is all about communication and creativity because it is occurring in the sign of Gemini. And then Purna as a lunar mansion is all about beginning something again. And so with this new moon, it can be a great time to um, reset, especially with that Mercury still retrograde, Neptune stationary retrograde, and even kind of like maybe think about beginning something new because of the lunar mansion this is in. July 16th, the sun is going to make its annual transit into the sign of Cancer. This brings a focus on home and family and focusing on all of this from the heart. It's a time for socializing with friends, enjoying activities and events with family. You may find that, your mood is a little up and down with this transit because Cancer is ruled by the moon and the moon is going through all 12 of the signs every month. So it can be a little up and down, but your intuition is going to be stronger. So listen. There could be a little bit of digestive system wonkiness for some of you. It will pass unless your chart says otherwise. But if you find yourself tired, it's okay to sleep. Take that time, because this could bring a little more need for sleep than normal. July 20th. Remember that 10-degree mark I talked about with Neptune? Jupiter and Pluto are going to be opposite each other at 10 degrees of Cancer to Capricorn, respectively. So Jupiter's at 10 degrees Cancer, Pluto's at 10 degrees Capricorn. And yes, Neptune's in there at 10 degrees of Pisces, but we'll get there. This Jupiter-Pluto opposition can be a tension point. It's going to be really important to watch for anything overreaching and power struggles. We may see countries or leaders trying to do that. It's going to be really important to stay humble during this time and not let your ego get out of control. Now, one of the positives of this opposition is that it can be good for knowledge and studying and spirituality. But it's making sure not to overextend yourself. And again, keep your ego out of it during this period. Now, 2 days later, July 22nd, this is what I'm talking about. Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter will all be at 10 degrees of their respective signs, which are Capricorn, Pisces, Taurus, and Cancer. This is very transformational. It's once in a lifetime setup. It's just going to bring a huge transformation of consciousness. We may not see it right away, but it's going to be there. I think we'll be able to look back at this as a turning point for what the future holds. We've still got a few years of a ride to get through the true change and transformation and breakdowns we have to go through. But I really think there could be a big event or something around this time that really shifts things. So keep an eye out. It can be a really good time to build something real, and it's going to be really important that when change comes towards you, you let it happen. But be patient. Just be patient with the change as it comes your way. Give yourself grace. Because we are dealing with three of the major outer planets, it really does bring that transformation, a time of powerful change. But it can also indicate the potential for rebellions or protests or riots. So mix that with the Mars up transiting with Uranus, um, and it can be a lot. So on a positive side, this can be a time of massive creative breakthroughs. Now, if you get my newsletter, I am referring you to my teacher, Barry Rosen. He wrote a fantastic article that gives more insights into um, this thing going on. Been studying with him for years. I love him. He's great. But if you get it, I've linked it. I'll actually link it below as well, because he does give insights that I'm not going to put in here because he did it so well. And so we're gonna give him the credit on this one. July 23rd, we can finally do that happy dance. Mercury is stationing to go direct. So great day. One of the things to remember though is that planets are more powerful. So around July 23rd, there could be more chances for delays, setbacks, issues with communication, travel, etc. So just be mindful. July 26th, we have another planet stationing retrograde. So another big one. Saturn's going to station retrograde on July 26th. So, with any retrograde, this is a time to reset, review, reconsider. Saturn will be retrograde until December 11th. Anytime a planet stations, that is the strongest period, always, is the day they turn retrograde or direct. Now, with the big ones like Neptune, Saturn, they stay stationary a lot longer than the little ones. So, one of the things I always say is if you have Saturn retrograde in your natal chart, which many do, it will be triggered during this transit. It's going to force you to be more honest about the area where you have your natal retrograde Saturn. It's going to be about taking responsibility for what's not working and ensuring you don't get lost in the fantasy. So that is always a good thing. Um, it's going to force us to really look within and take that deep look and be honest. You may find that the house that Saturn is transiting during this time ends up with delays or setbacks related to those matters. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Know that it's time to reassess, but not a time to begin new things. It's also going to be really important to manage any stress that creeps in around that area. So, for example, if it's going retrograde in Pisces, so if Pisces is your seventh house, there may be delays or something around business relationships or personal relationships, or if you're dating, things around that. If Pisces is your 10th house, there may be delays around career. If Pisces is your third house. There could be potential issues with communication and delays around that. So just know that there could be delays wherever it is. It is important to know that Saturn retrograde can bring up feelings of remorse or guilt. Just don't stew in those feelings. It's not going to do you any good. Catch them, dismiss them, understand them, learn the lessons, and move on. So, very much a time, embrace hard work and discipline, and Saturn will reward you, even though you may not see it until after December. But Saturn retrograde can also be, at least the stationary period, can be a time of intense weather and seismic activity as well. July 29th, we have a full moon at 12 degrees of Capricorn in the lunar mansion of Shravana. This full moon, it's a great time to go within and meditate because it is in Shravana, which is all about listening deeply to yourself and creating a spiritual practice for yourself. So there is a lot of spirituality this month, a lot of it. Um, and then on July 31st, Venus is going to transit into Virgo. Now, this is good news and more challenging news all in one because Venus, by transiting to Virgo, is going to break the Kalasarpa Yoga we have been in since the end of February. What that is, the Kalasarpa Yoga is the highs are high, the lows are low. So we're going to break that with this Venus transit into Virgo. However, Venus has to work 3 times as hard in Virgo because it is its weakest sign. Venus and Virgo can be overly critical of themselves in relationships. They can see it all. So you just got to work 3 times as hard. Try to be graceful, give other people grace. Try not to get overly critical of your spouse or partner or whatever. It can be a time where you feel more tired and stressed. So just again, give yourself grace and time to reset between retrogrades And the transits all are pointing towards rest, reset, giving yourself grace, going within, learning those lessons, digging deep, spirituality. Venus in Virgo is going to be transiting opposite Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So this can bring up negative self-talk and negative thinking. It could also bring up financial or relationship concerns, as kind of mentioned. But just ensure you're being practical, focus on the practical. Virgo is the sign of healing, so it can be a time to clean out your space or organize it while Venus transits through Virgo. And Venus will be in Virgo a little longer this year because we are headed into a Venus retrograde this fall. So just be aware there's going to be a little extra time of Venus in Virgo as we head into that retrograde. So, as I mentioned, a lot going on in July. July, yes. See, I can't even remember what month it is. Um, Now we are going to look at the 12 signs and what kind of high level what you can expect. Remember, these are high level. I don't know your chart. Kind of just a broad overview. So, Aries, you are going to be more direct this month, which means that you're going to need to watch what you're saying. Watch your words. There are benefits to being more direct, but it can also get you in trouble if you don't take the time to think through what you're saying, as well as who your audience is, especially with the conjunctions going on in your second house. You can be more impulsive with spending this month, so be mindful and really work to stick to your budget. And it's going to be important to take time to sit down, enjoy your meals in order to avoid any digestive upsets or problems. Taurus, you will have more ambition and energy to accomplish your goals and tackle things on your to-do list that may have been hanging over your head. You are going to feel able to tackle tasks that had seemed overwhelming before. You have the ability to complete unfinished projects more efficiently. Be sure to take advantage of this opportunity. One of the things, though, is while you're able to do things more quickly, be aware this can also make you a bit more accident prone. So just be mindful, pace yourself, don't get burnt out this month. If you feel tired, sleep, get that rest. And then it's also really important to watch your temper and take a deep breath before reacting on impulse. So count to 10, take the night to sleep on it, anything like that. Gemini, make sure to keep your home protected this month. Double check kind of doors and windows are locked before leaving the house. It can be a great month to get ahead on any credit card debt or any type of potential debt. Take the time to look over your finances and reassess your budget as needed. This is going to be especially important if you haven't checked in a while. You may find that your sleep is a little more disturbed this month and you wake up feeling a little more tired. This is a passing influence, unless your natal chart says otherwise. And then it won't be. But also be careful at the office who you share confidences with to avoid backstabbing. Cancer, this is a month that you may see your cash flow increase as opportunities present themselves to you. Get out, socialize with friends. It's going to be really important to watch your back, though, as there could be people that kind of pretend to be your friend that really don't have your best interest at heart. The other thing for you is if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So avoid any of those get rich quick schemes and don't loan any money to friends unless you're okay with it being a gift, not a loan. Leo, this is a great month to promote yourself. It can be making it known about the projects you've accomplished at work or a project you're working on. Take action this month. You've got the energy to do it. Don't overthink decisions to the point of missing out on opportunities. However, I don't think that's the case with some other things going on in the charts. But it's important to remember to respect your boss. And then it can be a great month to consider your career path and like what you see as your next steps. So make a plan, start implementing it. If you're considering asking for a promotion, just gauge your employer's reaction before making any demands, because this may not be the best time to ask for it. But only you know because it's your company, so trust your gut as well. Virgo, this is a lucky month for you. You're going to feel more inspired, but at the same time, you may feel that you can't trust your inner knowing. It's important to remember to trust your heart and your gut. It's a month to really break those who are break the lines, something like that. Those who are controlling you or trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. You got to live your life the way you feel you need to live it based on what you think you need to do. Stop listening to everybody else. Authority figures may come across as more demanding of your attention and respect, but be aware that their motivations may be unclear or hidden. And then try not to get into fights with your boss or father this month because the outcome won't be in your favor. But otherwise, it's a lucky month. Libra, you can find that some support comes more quickly this month, whether it be help from others or money. Your curiosity about a topic may lead you to dig deeper and learn more. Your mind is full of ideas and insights. Be sure to write them down and not let them pass you by. And then you're going to feel more worried and vulnerable during this month. But it will pass again, unless you've got something in your chart that says otherwise. But check in on your health. Health issues may surface, and it's good to catch them early. But it can also be a great month to do a cleanse or detox for your health. Excuse me. Scorpio, passions are going to be higher between you and your partner during this month, whether it be marriage or business. Be mindful that if it feels like your partner is attacking your character, that you let them release steam because they're likely projecting anger at others onto you because you're the safe spot and they know they can get away with it. It's going to be important to remain calm, cool, and collected to allow for a favorable outcome for you as it relates to this. And then just focus on projects that can be completed quickly this month, as well as paying extra attention to details of contracts and agreements you're signing this month. Sagittarius, take the initiative to improve yourself and your skills. There can be more tension and aggression at work, leaving you feeling uncomfortable. This is a good month to begin that exercise regime that you've been talking about. It's also going to help you release any tension building up within you. You may be prone to overheating or getting sick. So just be mindful, put your health first. And then if you have pets, they may have some costly health, potential for costly health issues this month. So just make sure you're taking care of your little guys as well. Capricorn, it's going to be a great time to make time to have fun. It's whether it's getting out, playing with your kids, doing something fun together with your friends or as a family. You may find that inspiration comes from unexpected places or just completely out of the blue. You can find that you have a clear vision during this period. And this is a month to show your passion. Get out there. However, don't make any rash decisions. Take the time, cool down, sleep on them. Nothing impulsive, remember? Writing pros and cons so that you can visually see and evaluate them is also a great idea. Aquarius, this can be a great month to make sure that your home has a positive flow of energy and that there's nothing stagnating that energy. I'm a huge fan of feng shui. My desk is always kind of shifting a little bit. If you've been with me over the years on videos, you can see it shifts around my office based on feng shui for the year. So love feng shui, but Aquarius for you, this is a great time to maybe do a little feng shui in your house. It's going to be important also to maintain any responsibilities to family work or education you may be doing or have. And then there can be some tension around the home with some disagreements or arguments. Step back, wait until the tensions have calmed before having the conversation so that you can have a conversation that actually goes further and doesn't end poorly. Also for you, it can be a great month to check in on your car to avoid any expensive problems. Do some maintenance, keep it running well. Pisces, this can be a great month to start working out. You're going to find your physical strength is higher, let your inner child out to play and enjoy the most of life. Use this as a time to express yourself through music, dance, writing, art, athletics. It's going to be really important to stay calm during your communications. Kind of be that voice of calm and reason, but don't hog attention. Like make sure you're staying humble, remember? And for you, if you have siblings, don't pick fights with them this month because it's not going to go well. On the flip side, it can be a great month to focus on selling and self-promotion as long as you do so within reason and you do it humbly. So those are the high level for all 12 signs. A lot going on in July. There's a bunch in August coming up and some setups coming up in August that are going to be force us more towards spirituality as well. So stay tuned. Come back here for August and hope everybody has a wonderful July and I will see everybody in August. So until then, stay safe.